One of my favorite classes was church leadership with Mary Steinweber, who's Brian Steinweber's wife. She is a pastor as well as a marriage and family therapist, and she did a really wonderful job at bringing in people from all over that were really good at what they do. So say a piece of church leadership is figuring out a budget. So we had the bishop of Sierra Pacific Synod come and talk to us about the budget and what it means to have the budget in a church, and as well as like synod-wide budget, which was really interesting. And then having a pastor who's really great at stewardship come and speak about being very transparent about money, and actually just having really hands-on experience talking with parishioners about how to give money, and like a lot of myriad of ways of doing that. And so that was just like two examples, but she had so many people come, and it was just really wonderful to get to network with people from around the Bay Area and their experience of what it means being a pastor or a lay leader or a bishop or a director of evangelical mission here. And I just found that so wonderful, as well as she really talked a lot about the power dynamics too, which is something that I've learned a lot here at PLTS, is about power and authority and how we can speak to that as ministry leaders.
There are a few impactful classes I've taken at PLTS. I think if I had to choose one or two, I took a systematic theology class with Carol Jacobson about Apocalypse and the book of Revelation, and we read some Moltmann. And that was a really great class because we were tackling some of the theological issues that are really relevant and in the front of people's minds in the parish. Just in the first week of being on internship, someone asked if they could come talk to me about the book of Revelation because they'd been to a seminar and they had some questions. And I think if I hadn't taken that class, I wouldn't have been as well equipped to answer those kinds of questions or to explore those kinds of questions. So I think that was a really impactful class. Another really impactful class I had was with Steve Davidson on the book of Jeremiah. And I didn't realize that a complicated book could get even more complicated. But that's what happened in the course of the semester, and I am really in love with reading the prophets now.
Probably one of my favorite PLTS classes have been the classes in pastoral care. These classes just feel very real to me. You're talking about people's hearts and souls and how to care for people in their joys and sorrows, and tackling these real life issues such as grief and life transitions, and in an environment that was just open and raw and real and honest. And so I've really appreciated those classes, and I feel like they've made me a better pastor.
Probably the most impactful class I've taken at PLTS is Christian leadership. We had church leaders from all around the area, and even some from outside the area, come in and teach us from a very practical standpoint of how to actually be a leader in a faith community. And it was unique in that fact that it really focused on practical aspects of ministry. At seminary we get a lot of theological knowledge, and this was an opportunity to actually apply some of that knowledge.
I think the most impactful class actually for me was an eschatology course I took with Dr. Jacobson. It was like Can We Save Eschatology or something, some other title like that, but it was just before I went off on internship. And you know, I didn't really understand much about eschatology, because usually when I think about it, I think like the left behind people who are always waiting for God to just suck everybody into heaven. But you know, learning about it and seeing it from the biblical perspective of more a unification with God, and creating a world that is better than what we have here. You know, a place where people are valued and cared for and have everything they need. That kind of eschatology really changed my perspective and allowed me to just open up and see, you know, the group of people that I kind of rejected as they're just people who want to be fully with God, and I could create better conversations through it.